Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving straight into the magic behind Python decorators, and we're going to visually learn exactly how to enhance our code cleanly and efficiently. Let's get right into it.
So have you ever been staring at some Python code and found yourself totally tripped up by that little @ symbol? Yeah, you're absolutely not alone. It's a super powerful tool that almost always confuses beginners. But once you see how it operates visually, it just clicks right into place. What you're seeing right here is Decorator syntax in action. And I promise you by the end of this explainer, you won't just understand it, you'll actually know exactly how to build and apply something like this timer decorator entirely from scratch.
Here's our game plan for today. 1. The decorator concept. 2. Building your first decorator. 3. The power of the @ syntax. And finally, 4. Making decorators fully flexible.
All right, Section 1, the decorator concept. Let's look at why we actually need these things in the first place.
Imagine we've got a simple function to brew tea. If we decide we want to time how long it takes to run, cramming the start and end timer logic straight into the brewing function creates this massive, tangled block of code. It's a headache waiting to happen. Just compare that to the much cleaner alternative, keeping the brewing logic and the timing logic completely separate.
This setup brilliantly highlights what we call the single responsibility principle. Basically, functions should just do one thing and do it well. Think about it. If we mash brewing and timing together, we can't easily reuse that timing logic later when we inevitably write a new make matcha function. We'd have to literally copy and paste the code, which is just never ideal.
Moving right along to Section 2, building your first decorator. Let's break down the creation process step by step.
Building a decorator is honestly just creating a special kind of function. It's a simple three-step process. First, you define an outer decorator function that takes your original base function as an input. Second, you define an inner enhanced function right inside of it. This is where you add your cool new features. And third, you just return that enhanced function.
You can kind of think of the decorator as this protective wrapper around the base function. Inside that inner enhanced function, we can start our timer, trigger the original tea-brewing code, stop the timer, and calculate the runtime, all without ever actually touching the original base function's code. It's pretty brilliant.
Okay, Section 3, the power of the @ syntax. This is where we learn how to actually apply that wrapper.
Now, sure, we could manually pass our function into the decorator as an argument and reassign it to a variable, but honestly, that completely separates the decoration from the function definition itself. Plunking that @ syntax directly above the function is just a vastly cleaner, way more Pythonic approach.
As our source material brilliantly points out, dropping that @ symbol right above the function header makes it instantly obvious to anyone reading your code that this specific function is being enhanced. It visually binds the enhancement directly to the definition.
But hold on, what happens if our function takes parameters? Our simple timer works great for a basic function with no inputs, but the next logical question is, what if we need to pass in a specific tea type, like green, and a steep time, like 1 minute?
And that brings us to Section 4, making decorators fully flexible. Time to handle some real-world Python complexity.
If we try to pass arguments to our decorated function exactly as it is right now, Python is going to immediately throw an error. It'll say the function takes 0 arguments but 2 were given. Why does this happen? Well, when we use a decorator, we're actually calling that inner enhanced function, and our current setup just wasn't built to accept any parameters whatsoever.
To fix this, we just need to relax those parameter requirements using *args. Adding this to our enhanced function header tells Python to grab any number of positional arguments, like our tea type and steep time, and neatly pack them all into a single tuple named args. And what about keyword arguments? Say we explicitly write out tea type equals green. For that, we use $KWARGS. This magically packs those specific key value pairs straight into a dictionary.
So the secret sauce here is really this elegant two-step dance. While we pack the arguments up in the function definition, we absolutely must use those exact same operators to unpack the tuple in the dictionary back into separate arguments when we actually call the base function inside our wrapper. If you forget and just pass the tuple, the base function is going to think it's receiving one giant argument instead of 2 separate ones.
Okay, we've solved the argument issue. Our decorator can accept any inputs. But what if the base function needs to return a value? Suppose our make matcha function doesn't just print some text, but actually needs to calculate and return the exact optimal time you should drink it.
Right now, because our inner enhanced function isn't explicitly passing along the base function's output, our beautifully decorated function is frustratingly just going to return none. The calculation absolutely happens, but our wrapper accidentally swallows the result before it can hand it back to us.
We can easily fix this final bug by simply capturing the base function's output in a variable right when we call it inside the wrapper. Then we just explicitly return that variable at the very end of our enhanced function. Boom. Now the calculated time flows perfectly outward.
And that brilliantly brings us to the ultimate flexible decorator checklist. If you follow these exact steps, accepting the base function, packing and unpacking your inputs, capturing the return values, and finally returning the enhanced function, you completely guarantee that your decorator is fully flexible. It will be capable of taking any number of arguments and returning any required values without breaking a sweat.
You've seriously just unlocked a massive level up for your Python skills today, giving you the power to write incredibly clean, modular code. So with this new superpower in your toolkit, what existing functions in your codebase are you going to go back and completely enhance right